Hey there everyone, it's Alex here with another devlog update for you based on my mobile roguelike project. So I'm aware it's been a few weeks since the last update and I do apologise for that, but it does mean I've achieved quite a bit since then that I'd like to share with you, so let's begin. So most of the recent additions I've made over the past few weeks have been implementing various new abilities and adjusting some of the existing ones. So the first thing I've done is fixed up the focus ability that I showed you last time. You may have noticed some glitchiness with the counter, and also behind the scenes it was constantly messing up the output damage. I've now updated it to use delta time rather than the wait for seconds, and this means it will now constantly increase the output damage while still remaining a rough 6% increase per second. It still lasts a total of 8 seconds while standing still, and if you start moving while the damage is increasing, it will take away the boost damage multiplied by how long you are standing still for. The first of the new abilities I've implemented is called Concentration. This boosts the player's damage by 40% of their base max damage. However, if they take damage from any source, they will lose the bonus and have to wait for 10 seconds with no more damage being taken in order to continue their boost. Currently, this would just allow the player to wait at the end of a room for it to reset, but I'm planning to adjust this so that the reset timer only continues so long as there are enemies in the room being targeted by the player, which will mean that they obviously have to clear the room in order for it to carry on counting down. The next ability is actually split into two different levels, Rupture 1 and Rupture 2. The idea with these abilities is that when the player stands still, it will charge their next shot and cause an area of effect damage zone. The first level requires the player standing still for 2 seconds before unleashing the shot, causing 2.5 times the standard projectile damage. Once the player has acquired the first ability, they can then unlock the second level, which increases the wait time to 3.5 seconds for a larger area of effect and 4 times projectile damage. This might end up being more of an ultimate player ability than just one of the cool ones you can unlock, but I'll have to think about that more in the future. Moving on to the next new ability, we have Swordsman. This ability gives the player a 30% damage boost when they are within close proximity to an enemy target. The bonus is lost when the enemy is either out of range or if they die. You can see the range the enemy must be within in the footage here surrounding the player. I think this could cause players to risk getting slightly closer to the enemies just for that extended damage boost, which is a pretty cool idea, I think. So the next new abilities are also fairly simplistic. These are just going to be basic buffs to the movement speed of the character. Presumably once I have different playable characters, they will each have different movement speeds, so this will be more beneficial on some characters over others. We then have the new ability Ferocity, which acts similarly to the Bad Blood ability introduced last week. This one, however, affects your attack speed rather than your damage. So for each percentage of your missing health, you'll get a 0.4% attack speed boost based on your default attack speed. This took me a while to figure out the maths for it, but with the way I've done it, even with taking attack speed boost, it should give you the correct value for the amount of increase you receive. It mostly does this by using a new value for setting the animation speed if you have the ability unlocked. This is also now reflected in the stat screen for your current attack speed by basing it upon the new value. Your current attack speed is recalculated each time the player either takes damage or gains health back, so that it's always accurate according to your current health percentage. I've done this rather than just on an update loop because it's more beneficial to only adjust it when the player's health has actually been changed. The Bloodthirst ability will heal the player slightly each time an enemy is killed. Each kill will reward the player with 2% of their base max HP back. It does this using a new heal player function that takes in the amount to heal. This function also has an event subscribed to it for when the player picks up a heal ability drop, which rewards back 40% of the player's current max HP. It will also likely be used in the future when I have some sort of heal drop at the end of the certain rooms. So that's it for new abilities added into the project. The other two things are both UI based, one being that the roulette wheel will now accurately pause when the game is paused to prevent it running in the background while the player is looking at the pause screen. And then the other more useful addition I've made to this is the level up overlay itself, which you'll now notice that whenever I achieve a level up and the 3 abilities are shown, it will also display both the ability's name and description before I select it, allowing the player to better understand the effect the ability will have when obtained. In the code you can see how it waits until the buttons are actually selectable before displaying the text options. It does this by checking each ability in the unlockables and seeing if that ability sprite matches the sprite being displayed in each of the buttons. If it does, it knows to set the name and description to that of the same ability. In the future I should probably make it so the script already knows which abilities to look for rather than looping through all of them, but I'll look at that at some point in the future. So that's about everything I've been working on over the past few weeks of this project. I apologise again for the inconsistency with these uploads, but I think going forward I'll just save doing a new video until a large portion of progress has been achieved. Well anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next update video.